Hello. Hi. This was okay. Hi, everybody. If you happen to be new here, my name is EmilyHanhan. And if you happen to be watching on the replay, hi, welcome. This is going to be an impromptu conversation about the, God, I just forgot the name, the Black Voices Roundtable that just happened on Jen Loves Review channel. If you're new around here, Audra at home and I do live streams on a regular basis. The community that has sprouted up from it is named Lagutta Gang, and Audra was in the live stream that we're talking about, and the community was like, we need to talk about this. I want to talk about this. So StreamYard is awesome, and I can have people join the stream. So I'm about to pop everyone into the stream. If you are on the Discord and you want to talk about the live stream on camera or with a microphone, you can always turn the camera off. You can find the link in the Discord about how to join. And if we have overflow, we'll rotate through. But I'm going to go ahead and bring folks on camera. Let's see.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Okay, so let me actually change it so that it shows your display name, because that is important.
Oh, here, I'll switch I'll switch it to.
There we go.
How do we switch display names? Oh shit. Okay, never mind. It's fine. I was just like, oh, I can get the free promo and I can actually put my name in, but then I was just like, nah, it's fine.
I didn't want my Instagram name either.
Nah, it's fine.
If you want to hop out of the stream, you can change.
I ain't that pressed about it. I'm here to hang out.
Yeah, I thought about it for a minute, and then I was like, no, I don't need to promote myself. I need to get my blood pressure lower, and for that, I need to guys.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So what I'm gonna do? Let's see. Oh my gosh, there's people. The chat is already moving so fast. I didn't want to just put the StreamYard link everywhere because people are weird, but I am going to quickly post it in the chat right now. If anyone that's here, I see Alicia's here, welcome. If anyone wants to pop on, you are invited to do so. Again, we're at 5 people now, so I'm not sure. We can add one more and then so we can rotate through. And so let's see. I saw a quick question about recapping what happened. Let's see. Can you give a brief recap of what happened? Because I was not able to watch it. So first, I want to just quickly introduce everyone. So we have FEFY, the Alchemist. We have Mo and Nathan, and they are all creators, actually. So Yoga with Mo, Alex the Alchemist. I'm going to link everyone afterwards. I'll make sure when we do the replay. And so YouTube and Instagram, is everybody on the both? Anyway, you can find them all around the internet. Oh, just on Instagram, yes. FEFY's just on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm just on Instagram. I've had YouTube before, but for other things, no. Not beauty content.
Totally understand that. So the recap I want to give on my perspective was that I found that the conversation, so it was a stream hosted on Jen Loves Review channel. It had Alicia, Kinky Sweat, Audra at Home, T, Nappy Headed Jehovah, Tina, the Fancy Face, and Josh, Killer King. And so it was just a round table. And honestly, Jen basically gave them the floor to talk about the beauty community, life as a Black person within the space and otherwise. I think the biggest reaction we've all had was the actual chat and how that was handled. And if anyone wants to jump in and talk about their perspective of the recap, because I was kind of paying attention, but I was also just kind of trying to pay attention to conversation. So, I'm here with some insight, but I don't want to overtake anybody. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm raising my hand. So
it's fine. It works.
So, from my perspective, the first thing that happened was let me turn off the fan. all of her regulars were saying, "Oh my gosh, everything's so beautiful." And the one that got me was, "Have you ever seen so many beautiful faces in one place?" With the emoji, and I was just like, wait, what? And everyone was jumping on that back bandwagon. So I tagged the person and I said, yes, at my family gatherings all the time, I see that many beautiful faces. Because like there's this thing where people are like, oh my God, Black people are so beautiful, and they don't understand that that's racist. So then someone commented, is it racist to find people of color attractive? Like because of their color? And I said, yes, Google it. And then she said something like, I don't see why it's racist. And I said, do the work, Google it. And I said, whitepeoplenonsense.com. It's called fetishizing. And she's like, well, it's not like in a bad way. Look at Nathan dying. Like, she's like, it's not like in a bad way. It's a good way. And I said, it is racist to think people are anything because of their color of the skin, whether it's good or bad, because like it's the same thing. And then I was like, okay, and she was like, I'm gonna stop arguing now. And so she was done with that, and someone else goes, y'all are just bitter, which was like, woo, child. So then I said, and then Emily had asked the mods to like do their job, and they were like calling her out and saying, don't insult people. So I said, so far in this chat, POC have been fetishized and called bitter, and that put me in a timeout.
No,
Yeah, I saw your comment, and then
somebody else talked out.
Your comment.
No, I like hear you because I was like partially paying attention to like the chat more, or like I was partially paying attention to like the actual conversation going on more, and then I saw in the Discord chat that there's something going on, and I tune in, and the first thing that I saw was this Miranda girl say, "I just think that POC look better. That's not fetishization," and I was just like, "Wait, what?" That is like the textbook definition of fetishization. Like, and I typed that out, and I don't think my comment got deleted, but like they were going off on like some people, and then there was another person that I was like talking to, and they were like, "Why is everyone getting mad at the mods?" And I'm just like, they're like because they were deleting people's comments that they were talking about. Like, I know Emily, not you, Emily, but the other Emily,
Original.
yeah, was like put like some criticization of the mods up, and I like read it, and as I was reading it, it got deleted, and I was just like, okay, like that's just like you blatantly just do not want to take accountability for what you're doing.
Yes. I wanted to quickly
But the thing about that is,
oh yeah, go go for it, go.
That the racist comments were not getting deleted. Like my problem is we were getting deleted for pointing out the racism, but the racism wasn't getting deleted. That was like my main problem. And it's something I've experienced in person, having gone to a 97% white college.
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand. I saw that you had gotten put in timeout, and I was like, okay, but I'm seeing racist comments come through all the time. Why are you in timeout? And I just wanted to repeat, Britt and other people said you should definitely watch the video, not just listen to my recap. Of course, the actual conversation again, the conversation that the five of them held was so informative and just on point, and I really appreciated it myself, and I could tell that there was a lot of great, like, it was a great conversation. This is more focused on how this shit was handled, because this was not handled well at all. And I wanted to say Emily Original, who's in the chat, is a mod on a lot of big channels. So I trust her perspective on some of this stuff about how to handle modding these kind of chats.
And I also
and the thing is, Emily hadn't.
But the chat was trash. The actual conversation was great.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I'm still gonna throw out.
The thing is, Emily and I had both. We had both commented on the the community posts that such a conversation needs heavy moderation to protect people of color. Like we had said that on the community post, and it was basically ignored.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the fact that
I'm done.
Yeah, and she just like has like I think the big thing is too of a channel of that size as well hosting a conversation like this. Like, how do you not anticipate needing heavy moderation for a conversation such as this?
And I also think that the other thing is that if you're not going to like vet what mods, like for a conversation like this, you need to vet your mods. You need to make sure that you have mods on the job that like understand it, because this isn't your normal makeup chat. Like this isn't your, because I kind of made a community post thing on underneath her thing, which y'all in the Discord already saw, where I was like, hey, are you paying these people? Because like this is not your normal type of chat. Like, you know, you like her interviews with like Hiram or something. It's just like a one-on-one, just talking about fun stuff, like pulling things. Like this isn't that. Like this is supposed to be something that's like progressive and more in like the activist circle. And it still kind of bothers me that like none of them are seeing any coin, because like I know that they are all like doing stuff, but like I'm gonna leave that to them because you know. But I think that she legitimately just thought that it was going to be like, I don't think that she thought about any moderating issues. And I think that that was kind of a problem. Like, you have to think like, okay, what is the subject matter? Like, I think maybe she might be a little bit disillusioned with like what her community is sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
But
so Audra told me this beforehand, like, because I had messaged her just being like, we are going on live. You're welcome to join, but there's no pressure to join. This is, you know, just a community thing. So there was a script for the mods so that they didn't like basically get trapped into like these conversations while then other racists would say shit. But my issue was that that script wasn't actually being used on racist. It was being used on people that were trying to like either have conversations or just shoot down the racist bullshit, like Mo getting put in timeout. And timeout is different from a slow mode chat, because I know Ruthie asked this earlier. Jen usually has, and a lot of bigger creators have their chat on slow mode, which you can set either you can only post every minute or every 2 minutes or whatever amount of time you want, so that it's not such a fast moving chat. Timeout is like, it tells you you are in timeout and you're out for, it's usually 5 minutes, I think. So I think the fact that there was a script in place, but it wasn't actually being used against racists, it was being used against people trying to call out the racist, was so fucked up.
Yeah, it was one of those situations in which, and people always mention this, in which it's worse for some people to call out racist than to be racist, which is mind-blowing. I don't understand. I'm never going to understand that.
Well, and I also think that there's, because also like I was a point to that, Christine. But yeah, is part two like if they want a part two, they should click through on those people's channels. Every single one of those people is a creator, and that was kind of the problem that I had with it holding on Jen's platform, because you have people commenting on Jen's video that they want a part two on Jen's video, instead of going and like branching out and supporting these Black creators individually. It's like centralizing them around this one white figure, which is like, I don't know what y'all's feeling on that, but my feeling's a little bit of a like Jen like I think that Jen like came at this with like a good thought, but the execution may be like she didn't necessarily like need to be there, and maybe didn't necessarily need to host it on her channel. But I guess it did reach her audience, so I mean there is that. But like again, if you're asking for a part two, fucking click through. Just click through. It ain't that hard.
Yeah. I also thought this was a good point. It's like I think racist mods weren't recognizing racist comments as racist. And I wanted to say I thought it was weird and irresponsible of her to start the chat without all of those creators linked in the description box. She said she was going to link them after the fact, and I was just like, Okay, I know there's timelines and all of that, and shit happens. Delay your live chat by 2 minutes to add the links. Like, you're saying this is a platform for them, but
Yeah, and also,
you're not
wasn't the
actually
video
linking
announced-
them.
Wasn't the video announced like a while ago? Couldn't she have prepared
Yeah.
Yes.
information?
Yeah.
And again, I think that might come to where she like was looking at this like any other collab video. Like, I think that that's the problem, is that she approached this like she would any other collab video, when in reality, I think that this video is a lot more of like a community like activism, like getting a bunch of people together to talk, to forward a conversation. And that needs to be handled differently than you meeting up and just chatting with your friend on a live stream. Like, those are two very different things, and they require very different moderations. And I'm also like very concerned if like the mods were given a script to deal with racists. Like, Mo, your icon avatar is like very clearly like black. Like, people can tell like from you chatting in the chat that you have melanin, you know, like the fact that they're using that script on someone that they can tell has melanin and like not on that other shit. I'm just like that's racist training 101. Listen to the person of color in the room. Like,
Yeah.
I see.
Yes,
And I mean,
assets was
like
being
the
donated.
chat,
yeah,
the conversation was good, but on some level it was like Jen going, "Hey, look folks, I have black friends. See my black friends. I'm not racist.
Yeah, it was-
black friends." And
Yeah, it was very. I have a black
it's
friend,
like,
but tiny.
her face.
And
you know, like she had good
Oh.
intentions. I'm not going to say she didn't have good intentions, but y'all,
Yeah.
I have been. For those people who don't know, I went to the United States Coast Guard Academy in New London, Connecticut, across the river from one of the very few submarine bases in the US. And it was 97% white at the time. And we would try to have conversations on race because like they just could not get minority retention, minority recruitment, because they couldn't use affirmative action. So we would have these conversations in the room on race, and then I would say something that affects me, and all the white people would get offended and turn different colors of red and purple and then tell me, "Mo, I'm offended to hear you say that." I'm like,
Yeah.
you as a black person in America, when you call out racism, it's like you get attacked. When I was in my senior year, one of my was the second year sophomores. One of my sophomores on the first day of school walked into class and a teacher called her the N-word. An American history teacher called her the N-word and told her that she needed to be lynched. And her classmate, the first day of school, a civilian American instructor called her that, American history instructor, and her classmate, who's half Puerto Rican, half black, told her, on top of calling her the N-word, he had previously designated the Italian kid as the N-word in the class. And when she walked in, he was like, "Oh, Tony, you don't have to be the N-word anymore. We got a real one and a female. All they're good for is to be barefoot and pregnant. And when they're not doing that, they just need to be lynched." That was what happened. And when, like, she wasn't even going to say anything. But I saw her looking, I just said, "How was your first day of school?" And she said, "It was the worst day of my life." And when she told me what happened, we were in the room with the equal opportunity advisor and the diversity officer. And I went to them and I said, "Here's what happened." And you know that because of certain laws, they could not have him fired. He was on unpaid leave until his contract ended. And I would say at least 2/3 of her classmates, they would bully her for doing that. She like withdrew away from me. Like, our relationship was broken because I'm the one that reported it, even though I had a duty to report it as an upperclassman. And she pulled away from me. She didn't want people to see her with me, even though we were on the track team together, because her classmates were blaming her and calling her all sorts of names. And like, already there were so few of us there, and they were calling us all sorts of names, and he didn't get fired. And when his contract ended, he went to the newspaper and said he was discriminated against for being white. He was like, it was a teaching opportunity. And it's like, you don't just randomly call someone that word in front of other people, in front of other white people, and say they have to learn to cope with it. Like, and then when afterwards you discuss it, and the white kids, my white classmates and other people in the school would be like, I don't see what y'all making such a big deal about. And that was what was happening in the chat. So yeah, I'm a little sensitive to it because I've lived it in person, face to face, you know, and they don't understand what it is to be scared in the street. I have been to places in the US where I'm the only black people and I don't make a move without two white people, not one, two, one on each side. Guys, I gotta go to the bathroom. Which two white people are going with me? Like, that's my reality. And then they're like just there going, well, that's not racist. Well, I'm not racist. Oh, you were arguing with her. I'm gonna put you in timeout. And they don't understand that's part of the problem. And Jen was warned about it. She hasn't done her research. I went on her community post and I asked her to put the same energy she brings to makeup. Y'all being loud. Thank you. Yeah, to bring the same energy she brings to makeup. Jen will go research every single ingredient in skincare and makeup, but she'll not she won't go research how to end racism. It's not hard to find. Like, white racism resources for white people. Google, like T said. Y'all forgot about Google?
Thanks for sharing your story.
And that's the thing is, like, yes, that was it. The fact that they weren't fired.
Yeah.
There's so many times where I'm like, I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised.
Wasn't fired. He couldn't be legally fired.
But I wanted to say, so Audra did feel like she had an extremely good, positive experience, and I'm super happy to see that. I hope most of the creators didn't even have the space or energy to pay attention to the chat, and I'm kind of glad that Jen didn't pay attention, didn't feed the trolls, but at the same time, I'm annoyed that oh, Diana's here. I'm gonna add Diana to the stream as well. But I'm also just annoyed. You're right. Hello, welcome, Diana.
Hey.
Like, hi, Diana. Like saying, like they've had a whole conversation explaining about ColourPop Me Black, and like I didn't know about ColourPop either, but I listened. I was like, okay, and like I was putting on my lipstick, and I was like, oh, I have this ColourPop color. I guess I'll just have to finish it. But as soon as I'm talking about that, someone in the chat said, "What's wrong with ColourPop?" Like several people were asking what was wrong with ColourPop. As soon as they were done explaining it, and I'm like, they just explained it. Do y'all have ears that don't hear black people?
Yeah,
I think that they were like, it's like they were
like do y'all ears not hear black people?
It's like they were reading the chat, heard ColourPop, and were like, ColourPop? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the Discord. I said that, yeah, the person asked, what did ColourPop do? And I'm like, yeah, maybe they didn't listen, but maybe they did listen and they didn't find anything wrong with that. With not representing black people on their social media, even though they have been asking for it for a long time, and they did a campaign, and they only noticed them now because of what happened. So yeah, I didn't want to give that person the benefit of the doubt because I know where we were in the chat.
Like I never really noticed the deal with ColourPop and Black anyways, because I don't really follow makeup brands Instagrams and socials. I just check whatever Trend will saying, or makeup craze, or whatever you guys are saying, or new makeup releases. So but I never really noticed that. But it is true. It is real. I mean, they only focus on certain people, and they should give space to other influencers. I mean, how many Catherine Lights collabs do we need? She's a Latin girl. I mean, she's a Latin girl. I mean, cool. They're doing stuff with people like Becky G and Makeup Shayla and I don't know who else, Carucci. But we need more people. It can't be just the 5 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think. Oh,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. It needs to reflect the person they are collabing with. I remember reading, I don't remember where, a commentary from another Black creator saying that, yeah, sometimes they do collab with people of color, but the colors on the collection don't reflect the fact that they're collabing with people, with a person of color.
True. That's true.
That's something I've heard regularly, is that ColourPop's actual makeup doesn't really, like eyeshadows don't really show up on like people of color and Black people. It's just like ashy and not pigmented, and it looks like it would be, but then when you're actually using it as a person of color, you're like, no.
I do want to
I
say
also
though.
just-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, go ahead.
Oh, I said I do want to say that I do think that it is important that we like acknowledge that Jen at least got like a good amount of creators together that know and like each other and enjoy each other, because there is also times where like you'll get like a creator that just throws a bunch of people of color in a room that like don't know each other, don't have any charisma, and expect them to just have some sort of like bond because of the skin color. So I think that it is good that like everyone kind of knew each other and kind of did that. I think that that was a very important aspect to like how the conversation like flowed, and I think that was very good. I do think that she at least did her research on that.
Yeah,
I completely agree on that.
I mean, I think that somebody earlier said like it's a good thing at least that Jen did this, and that hopefully it'll create more. She'll do more of these, and I would agree with that. But I still think that the handling of the moderators in the live chat is a huge component of it, because I think Audra mentioned how most people that were on the panel weren't really paying attention to the chat. That's great. But
Yeah.
for other people that go on these live chats and that do have this, are paying attention and then see the kind of shit that was happening in her live chat unmoderated, I'm tired. Honestly, I'm tired of white people being like, I'm tired of it being done and it's the good intention. Do your research. And if you honestly can't have the moderators, or you're given this advice about having moderators, if you can't do it, if your moderators, like she suddenly had fewer than she expected, turn the chat on even slower mode, or make an announcement at the beginning of the video that there's not going to be a live chat because there's a lack of moderation. I'm tired of this. It was a good intention, because a lot of Black people get shoved into these spaces of like Mo, and I'm sure other people in the chat or people that are rewatching it, they're seeing this and are like, what in all of the actual fucks is this bullshit?
So there was there was even this one guy saying like saying to FEFY like, why are you defending the Blacks? I don't know. I don't think the Blacks want you to defend them. Like, what the fuck kind of bullshit is that?
What? And here's another thing. I don't know if it happened to anyone else in the chat, but every other message that I was trying to post on the chat, I couldn't. It wouldn't let me get through.
Yeah, that's slow chat.
And I was, but sometimes like, and I wasn't even. I type really slow, so I don't know if it was just slow chat, because with my eyesight, sometimes it's hard for me to.
And I'm like very much someone who like I like to think things through a whole lot before I include it in the chat too. That way I feel like I can respond correctly.
Yeah.
But that slow chat was kind of messing me up as to figuring out where my comments were going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also think that it's important to acknowledge, Audra here, like she was actually part of the channel, and she's sitting here and saying that this was an unprecedented
Yeah.
thing, and she sees this as really positive. And so
Yeah.
it is also something where we kind of have to check that, we're
Mhm.
majority white here, and we're
Yeah.
kind of speaking on this experience of their representation. So if
Yeah.
Audra sees this as a very good representation and a very good chat in general, then I think that we
Yeah.
do have to really, at least I feel the need to kind of secede that, at least when it comes to the chat, or when it comes to the actual like video chat. I do think that the moderating for the comments, the live chat, really did need something better. And
Mhm.
can she not edit? So this is another question, and maybe Emily, you would know this. Can she not moderate her own chat while she's live? Because she was clearly watching the chat.
Well, so like, so
Yeah.
it looks like she was using a StreamYard, which is what I'm using. But if I need to moderate, then I usually have to open it up. I'll open it up on my phone
Got it.
to actually moderate. But that doesn't mean she can't do that. So like,
But
because you're
Guys,
right, she was watching.
Yeah.
Especially since she was talking less, which was good.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think that it was amazing. I also just wanted to say more like insider info. I think Audra did some good work in pulling together who she
Yeah.
suggested as well. I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna say that's maybe not all on Jen. I know I'm biased because she's a friend and I kind of have insider perspective, but I'll be curious to see what comes of future chats. I do hope she does them. I really do. I just have seen this repetitive cycle with her in particular of doing like 20% of the work when she should be doing 100%, and then having excuses or reasons for why she didn't do the rest when the other 80% she didn't do really kind of messes up the experience for some of her viewers.
I also think that one of the problems is this idea of the collective brain. And I was kind of thinking about this, is that if you have a collective brain and you review Jeffree Star products, that's immediately going to alienate a group of that brain and bring in a different group. Like, you can't remain like a kind of neutral entity while bringing in these highly controversial brands, because every time you use a Jeffree Star product, there's going to be those people that feel alienated, to feel like this isn't a space for them, and leave that collective brain. And there's going to be other people that typically fall along a little bit more of like a right-wing moral type thing that come to Jen specifically for that. So I don't think that she necessarily realizes the impact of her even mentioning brands on what that does to her community and how that jades her perspective. And I think that she does have this very much, I'm going to bring X amount to the table, and then the collective brain, we can figure it out. But when you're consistently alienating a part of the audience, and that part of your audience is going to be mostly POC, specifically Black, you're going to lack that perspective. And you're going to get a more skewed result, which is, I think, why we see so many Karens in her chat. Like, because the Karens are out for J Star, and she's out here doing J Star stuff. So the Karens come and they want to defend about the cremated palette and watch her go on some tangent. And then they can, because they're a mass majority in the chat, they can steer the conversation in that direction. So since Jen isn't going in and doing these kind of research stuff for her live chat, she's coming in to have a live chat, she is very susceptible to being able to be steered by her audience. And not saying that we shouldn't take the blame off of her, because her not sticking her foot down on something is on her, and her not understanding, and her potentially maybe ignoring some people that are like, hey, it's not because it's about death, it's because people are forced to be cremated right now. If she's kind of intentionally ignoring those comments, that is on her. But we do have to kind of acknowledge that she's cultivated this audience that's going to naturally steal her right when she's doing this kind of collective brain mentality. And I don't know if she always looks at that.
I think that Okay, go ahead, Mo.
My thing is the conversation was awesome. Like T, Audra,
Yeah.
Alicia, they were all saying really great things.
Yeah.
And I felt like people in the chat were basically saying, we hear you, but we don't believe you. And that takes away from the awesomeness that the conversation was. Because like people were like the say the color pop thing, people were like, wait, what did Colourpop do? But they just said what Colourpop did, and
Yeah.
then someone they said, well, why don't y'all make your own for
Yeah.
people? Lots
Yeah.
of comments should have been hopped on right away and should have been pulled out of the chat so that I didn't, as a person of color, shouldn't be subjected to repeated trauma from those kind of comments, which is what
Yeah.
Emily said in her community post.
Yeah.
You know, and let's talk for a moment about why did Jen only have 2 moderators? Like, I haven't been in her
Yeah.
chats recently, but I've never been in her chats when she had less than 4 moderators. Jen's chats usually has like 6 moderators. When I used to be in it, things
I
may
think
have
I
changed,
think she
but
had the stuff
why
like
were there
her.
only 2?
Her husband is usually helping her with stuff when she does her chats. He was absent today.
Yeah.
No,
I
think
don't know if he's as much in the chat. I
Yeah.
feel like also this isn't the normal time that she
Yeah.
usually does her
Yeah.
streams.
That could be.
But again,
I-
like she has people within her community that she could have reached out and been like, "Hey, can you moderate for
Yeah.
me? I only have 2 people. We have 5 big creators going to be." And I didn't feel like I was seeing moderators in there until like 30 minutes into the chat.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
I also
definitely.
think that, like, quite frankly, you have. This is actually something that I would have liked to see, is that Jen has these Black creators right here, and Jen knows that these Black creators' audience are going to show up. So why doesn't Jen, for one stream, let these Black creators, you know, if they have trusted people to moderate, put them at mods for one stream? You know, like that's another option. Yes, he did
That's my
comment.
response to that comment.
Oh.
Yeah, I did see that.
Oh,
It was yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and the
girl.
thing is, like, I legitimately, like, looking through everyone's comments, I didn't see anyone who was actually being mean to the mods. We were all just
Yeah,
asking you, please
exactly.
do better.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't see people asking people to do better as an insult. I see that as, hey, I know that we're both human and we're on different points in this journey. Can you please, like, this is a suggestion to help you do better.
Yeah, the only thing I said was like, I've been in other live chats, and those other live chats from other creators are really well moderated. Why can't this one? But
Yeah.
it wasn't even that mean or that snarky. You know me.
Yeah.
I could be
Yeah.
way snarkier. So
I see you in Discord. I know you.
yeah,
How in this
you
chat,
know me.
how Jen is highlighting Black creators in her chat, and someone's gonna come and say, "Oh, just create your own Black people makeup brands and stop bashing these important brands." Like, God damn
Yeah,
it!
I
I wanted to
Literally,
smash
as
my
a
computer when
CEO,
that
was sitting
girl
there.
said that.
Killer
Yeah, I
King literally
commented on
created
that
his own
as
brand.
well.
Like,
I
what the
commented
fuck?
on that as well.
Okay, guys, let's go create our own brand. Okay.
It's like, y'all gonna contribute to the
Killer King has
GoFundMe?
his own brand. Like that's
Oh,
yeah,
the funniest
exactly.
thing about that is Killer King owns his own brand. So like,
Yeah.
the fuck are you?
And said it at the get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
he
talking
said it
about?
at the get-go, and he was one of the leaders in
Yeah.
the Club Pop Me Black movement. It was
Yeah.
him and Neon MUA, who was also in the
Yeah.
chat there. Those two were really spearheading the movement. It was So it's really interesting because it's like it's not like it's just not about like having like this separate thing. It's about like making sure that everything's inclusive and that people, especially with ColourPop's price point, like like.
Yeah.
Because of systemic racism, it's
Guys-
true that a lot of people of color don't have as much money as white people, like in this country. Not through any fault of their own, but through the white oppression that's happened in our society. So, like, especially these brands like ColourPop that offer this affordable makeup, it's really important that they're inclusive
Mhm.
because they're what a lot of people, like a lot of my friends that are Black, when I'm like, you know, when I'm like suggesting makeup brands, I have to go and be like, okay, you know, first off, like, is it going to show up? Like, where's the price range at? You know, and there's so many of these like overlapping things, and ColourPop hits a really good price point for a lot of younger people and a lot of people that don't have as much money and don't have as much privilege as other people. So it's really important that those brands are especially inclusive.
Guys, also an important thing as an international customer that I am, you know, I'm in South America as well as FEFY. FEFY, I'm sure you'll agree with this. It's really important that the big brands cater to all kinds of people because they are global brands, guys. I mean, they are not only in the US. People like Too Faced, Anastasia Beverly Hills, I don't know, Maybelline, all of those. They need to cater to all kinds of people because they want to sell in Asia, they want to sell in Africa, they want to sell in South America, Central America, and we have a lot of Afro population here. We have a big amount of Afro-Colombian people here. I mean, my city is a city with predominantly Black and mixed people. And when I go to our local drugstores or to places where they sell makeup here, I can never find my shade. No, I mean, you always hear people saying, oh, Maybelline has a great range, but Revlon has a big range. We don't have those here. They only bring like the lighter shades. Like I can buy a foundation here. I can hardly buy a foundation here. I have to wait for one of my cousins that live in Texas to come here. I have to wait until a friend of mine comes here. I have to pay for expensive shipping. You know, I have to jump through hoops to get their things. And they need to be aware of that because we have Too Faced retailers here. We have Anastasia retailers here, Smashpot retailers here. We have Benefit here, but they don't bring their stuff. They don't cater to all of people, and they want to be global. I mean, they want to be global. They need to understand that there's not only white people in the world.
Yeah, and I mean,
I just
also, sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to thank Danica. Thank you, Danica, for the super chat.
Yeah, and also like it's about setting like a precedent, right? Like when Fenty came out of the gate with 50 foundations that raised the bar and it set a new precedent. I can't speak, y'all.
Okay.
But it set that bar higher. So like we need especially these bigger brands and these more popular and more accessible brands to keep setting that bar higher for inclusivity, because without that, then it's not going to become the norm. I mean, you know, like we need these brands to step up.
Yeah,
And I agree with what
And what Diana is saying is true about the international markets, because y'all, this is the darkest shade of Maybelline Age Rewind that I could get here.
Wow.
This is the darkest shade.
We don't have the dark shades of that. We don't.
Yeah.
This is the darkest shade that I could get here in this country. And like most of my friends are darker than me. and my friend was telling me she's a lot darker, and she's like, she had to give up trying to buy foundation here because every time she went to the store, they would give her a foundation that's too light, and like they'll try it on her, and she's like, this is too light, I need something darker. And they like when you go buy foundation here, because the mentality, the internalized racism has been passed on so much that even in a predominantly Black country, when you try to buy makeup, people try to make you feel like you need to lighten your skin. And so we have to hold these brands accountable, because even if they don't make makeup for our skin tones, they still want our money and they still want to try and sell it to us. So they're basically gaslighting us.
Yeah, we never get the darker.
So it's not just enough to just make a brand for Black people.
Yeah, I was thinking about in the before times, so like a couple of months ago, when you could go in store, I would go to the drugstore in downtown Santiago, where a lot of immigrants live. It's mainly Colombian, Haitian, and Brazilian immigrants. and they have, and mostly people, it's mostly Black people or people with very dark skin, and you would go to the drugstore, and on the Maybelline range there were like three shades, and they were all like light medium. So
Yeah,
my shade, I don't care. I never find mine.
it's the same here.
Because I'm a genetic mutation. I'm albino. I don't care. But a huge group of people live and work there that could use those products, and they don't have them.
Yeah.
And this isn't, and the Chilean market isn't that small, and people can and buy a lot of makeup. So I don't understand.
Yeah. And at our local Falabella, which is like in South America, for those who are not here, it's like a Macy's. So that's our local place. Yeah. And in our Falabella, you can only find brands like Dior and Lancome and Sisley, and that's so fucking tone deaf. So fucking tone deaf. And I've done the fucking brand Benefit Brow Bar. That's all we got. We don't have any.
Falabella is a Chilean brand, and well, in downtown Santiago is not that bad because they sell products according to like the socioeconomic status of the people who live in that area of the city. So they do have like in downtown they have Maybelline, Revlon. They used
we don't
to
have those.
I don't know.
I mean, we can buy those online, but we don't have.
Yeah, it was mostly in the ones in downtown Santiago or the areas of the city closer to where I live, because I live in a it's like lower middle class area. They have like drugstore brands there, but you go to the big fancy malls and they're supposed to have like a bigger range of product, but they have all those brands that have terrible shade ranges. Yeah. So they tell you, oh no, but you go to the other store at this other part of the city. Maybe you will find your shade there. No, there won't.
Like this girl on a counter even told me once, oh, but you have to wear a lighter shade of foundation because you have to, because your foundation needs to be lighter so you can look, so your face can look clearer. And I'm like,
yeah,
what? What are you talking about? I do not need to look whiter. I am the color I am.
Yeah. Coming off of that comment and something that Mo also said, since we've been talking about holding brands accountable and pull up or shut up and all of this, I want to mention something about boycotting brands and all the stuff. Like, we've been boycotting brands and being like, well, if they don't cater to those to those shade ranges, I won't support them. But there's something to remember. In India, all those brands, the parent companies, they all sell skin lightening creams and promote lightening your skin. So I don't know. They can be non-racist in one part of the world, but in the other part, they're telling you that being white is
there's no ethical consumption under capitalism.
Yeah. Well, and I think all of this,
not just in India, they sell the lightening creams.
Yeah, and well,
no, more than just
India. I was mentioning it because a friend of mine who is in India was pointing out how hypocritical those brands were with their statements.
Wait,
Pete, and it was setting press.
Hold up. Oh no! Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying because Pete lives in DC, so like Pete probably lives close to me because I'm not in DC currently because I'm at my mom's, which is in Northern Virginia, but my dad lives in the heart of DC. So Pete's, hit me up. We should hang out.
Love that. But yeah, in terms of like setting precedent, thinking like brands like ColourPop and all of that, I think that's why having this conversation is important, because I also think that Jen's live was setting a precedent. Like Audra said,
Yeah.
she had
Mhm.
5
Yeah.
Black creators together. But if she's setting this precedent and going to do it again or inspire other people to do it, she needs to hold herself accountable for how she handles her community.
I agree.
Yeah.
And the people that are not in her community that just came over to talk.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can, again, it's the whole good intention thing. It's great. I'm so happy it happened, and it sounds like people that were part of it as creators were happy to be there. But
Yeah.
you can't just throw people out to the wolves and then let them deal with themselves and whatever happens from it.
No, I agree because I think that like, especially like Jen's face when Audra brought up the supporting brand thing
Oh
was
my God.
priceless.
So priceless.
I
So
wish
and like,
someone had
and
had
here's
taken
the
a
thing,
screenshot.
right? This is what kind of actually bringing it back to Jen. Like, if you follow her on Twitter, when Jeffrey released his Royal Blood collection, whatever, she went on like this long rant about like, you know, the cultural appropriation and stuff like that, which was good, right? And then she goes and like starts talking about the cremated palette and defending it the next week, and she doesn't understand how that's so. Like, here's the thing, right? She could have 10 more of these, but if she's still exhibiting these behaviors,
Yeah,
like,
true.
you know, it's just kind of like a little bit performative to me. Like, you can't sit here and be
Question we
like,
should
this
ask.
creator is
Jen
so
likes
bad,
to
this is why this is so bad, and then immediately defend them on the next issue. Like, because here's the thing, right, is that you don't need to defend them. Like, you can just not talk about it. Like, if you don't want to talk, like, because in her live stream right after the cremated thing, she mentioned something about how she is a review channel, and I left a long comment, and I was just like, so Jen, I hate to break it to you, but half of your videos are commentary. Your live streams do not have anything to do with reviews. They are commentary. So if someone sees you commentating on and defending Jeffree Star's cremated palette while you haven't discussed, I don't know, like, well, I think she has discussed his racism in like a separate video at like some end point, but I don't think that's really enough, especially when there's a good time gap that's happened. But even like the more recent stuff with like Davi Vanity and that kind of stuff, like, you can't cherry pick this cremated thing, defend this, and then not discuss any of the other things ever, because that makes it look like you're supporting him. Because if you weren't supporting him, then you would have also brought on these other things. It's like you're only bringing him up when you can defend him, and which is probably for views. But
Guys,
yeah.
I also want to say to
And the
Alicia,
other thing too is
Yeah.
What Alicia is saying in
Hey.
the chat, I want to comment
Yeah.
that I also commented on the Discord that I really want to take away the good parts of this.
Yeah.
The good parts. It was
Yeah.
a great conversation. It was a
Yeah.
great conversation. People need to be made aware of these things, and what better way than to listen to the Black creators, to listen to the people that are in the business that are doing this. Because as for us, just commenting on Twitter or whatever, I mean, we could be ignored, but it's important that people like Tina, that people like Alicia, like T, like Kelsey, like these guys that are doing an amazing job, because they are doing an amazing job. They need to be heard, like they need to be hyped.
Yeah.
People need to know about them. Yeah. And the other thing, what I wanted to say about Jen was that I think that her thing with Jeffrey, maybe she had been wanting to review his stuff for a long time before, but since no one wanted to touch him with a 10-foot pole, And when the Shane Dawson documentary went out, and people were low-key brainwashed and started to see him in a whole different light, she took this as an opportunity to, this is my chance. And that's when she started saying like, but I'm a review channel. And because people were starting to see him in a more positive light back then.
I think that she is like half a review channel. Yeah.
She's a review channel, but my point is, and I have told you guys this before, my point is she did it for the views. She knew those videos would get views. She knew those videos would make her grow. That's why she did it.
I think that she also has this problem where she's trying to stay family friendly.
What? She's a review channel. She can review racism.
True.
Yeah, she can go review racism. She can tell us the controversies, the points, the ingredients. Tell us about the ingredients. Because people were bringing up Jackie Aina in the chat, and think about if any of the Black creators, think about if tomorrow, Audra came up and Audra's like, welcome to my Jeffree Star review. Think about how much heat Audra would get. As Black creators, we don't have the privilege to do that. We don't. We can't. Even the Karens now.
Well, and I think that comes back. Sorry, go ahead, Emily.
My thing, I want Jen to review racism. Jen to go say, let me tell you what racism is. Here are the ingredients of racism. Here are the different types of racism. Here are the side effects of racism. This is the racism that will burn your eyes. This is the racism that's a rash. This is the racism that will give you a broken arm. And then most of all, this is the racism that will kill you. Because let's not forget, we're talking about a fight for our lives here, y'all. Our lives. Like, we afraid for our lives. We're not afraid people will hurt our feelings because they done been hurting our feelings our whole life. We are afraid for our lives. That's what this fight is for. Like, all of these talks are good, but we need to remember at the end, this is a fight for our lives. So every little thing we have to stand up for, because those things lead up to us dead in the street, someone's on our neck, and everybody looking on and people thinking.
Yeah.
But what about George Floyd? Was he a criminal? Didn't he hold somebody up at gunpoint? Didn't he make money? What about him? Black people are criminals. Off my soapbox now. I'll be back later.
You are welcome on your soapbox whenever.
And I think that the problem, that's kind of what I was talking about, like when we look at her like actions on Twitter versus her actions on like her channel and stuff, is I think that this idea of the collective brain has like, I think that like a lot of people that are progressive like need to wake up to the fact that the majority of people are at least fine with racism. Like they're not like pro-racism, but they're okay with it. Like, and they are willing to excuse people being racist. And I think that like to that extent, like that's when you need to start putting your foot down, because there's going to be people that say, oh, well, this is just about the makeup. So that's where you get this thing where she's like, oh, well, you guys asked for a review on this, where you guys want, because she's following that collective brain. And I don't think that like maybe she has enough of an identity herself in her channel where she has stuff that she knows that she stands for, but she kind of bends too much when people put pressure on her, which I mean, like, look, she can do what she wants. Like, she's grown, she's successful, she's living her life. Like, you know, she can do what she wants. But I do think that you can't be surprised that you gain this type of audience when you entertain these type of people. You know, if you invite, like, if you like allow like soldiers to like live in your home, you're gonna have people think that you're pro soldiers. Like, that's just what it's gonna be. Like, you are bringing Jeffree Star onto your home, but you are giving Jeffree Star a platform, you are discussing him, you are defending him. That is going to lead to the assumption that you are for him. Like, And you can't fake this neutrality. You can't say that I'm discussing this in an objective way without any context, because there is so much context. And erasing that context is what allows racism and this type of stuff to occur. Like, we can't just go away with it.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah. No, true. Like, because I think. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, no, I agree with you, Nav. I mixed your comment with Pete's next comment, but yeah, and I think that also, like, quite frankly, the reason that Kat Von D was canceled is because anti-vaccination is looked down upon by partisans.
Yeah, she was never canceled for.
But I think that, like, like, she was never canceled for, like, her racism or anything like that, because there is always going to be the audience that overlooks that. But for some reason, when you bring in anti-vax to it, because both parties can agree that that's stupid as fuck, she's canceled. But because there is a good amount of people that are completely fine with them supporting racist, or completely fine looking the other way. And then there's, like, the people that say that it's just about the makeup too are like, the majority of people that said it is just about the makeup were completely, like, fine reviewing Jeffree Star, all of that stuff, and then pulled back real quick on when Kat Von D came out with anti-vax stuff, right? Like, their community backlashed it and they dropped it. And it's because it isn't just about the makeup, but they can put up that facade in order to keep their comfort. That's
right, because, like, so one of the ways that, like, I've always been very in my channel and the work that I do, I very much try not to be neutral. Because that way, first of all, that means if I change my mind, I can be open about my biases of, like, hey, this actually swayed, the way I think about things, because I don't think anyone's neutral about anything. But also, like, so kind of bringing it back to the point of, like, moderation and stuff. When I was in college, I worked for the diversity office. And so I helped, like, try and facilitate different, like, panels and things of that nature. And that whole, like, actually saying my bias and admitting that, like, I don't tolerate certain things. I don't tolerate racism. That allows me, I think, when you admit that, that helps you protect the people that you are having that conversation with, the voices that you are uplifting. When you say, hey, there's certain shit that I'm not going to tolerate in the comments. And I wish that that had been said a little bit more explicitly. I understand that, like, that's something that you definitely gain with experience. Like, when I was a little baby activist, I struggled with that, and I had to take a few steps back a lot of times. And I still constantly am, because I'm a human being and we're all kind of learning and growing as we go. But we shouldn't be afraid of that kind of self-reflection either. And I hope that one of the things that comes out of this is that sort of self-reflection. I don't want this to be a conversation that absolutely stops with, oh, the comment section got really bad, so let's never do this again. I hope that this is something that, oh, this went really well because it was a fantastic conversation and I loved everything that the people in the video were saying. And I am definitely going to go watch it back without the live chat. I don't want it to stop here.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, that's going to steer the collective brain back towards, like, the more, like, left political sphere, right? So, like, I think that we were talking a bit earlier, and for the people that have just came in, like, how her reviewing Jeffree Star immediately alienates part of her audience, and how it automatically will steer the collective brain towards this line of thinking. Posting this, she said that she's lost subscribers over this. Like, good riddance. I mean, so doing stuff like this, as long as she doesn't continue kind of, like, defend, like, as long as she stops trying to pretend that she's some sort of centrist, because I don't think that Jen is a centrist. Like, if you look at, like, what she says and what she does, like, she's very clearly not a centrist, but she plays this weird centrist mediating role on her channel through this collective brain. Which is what is allowing her channel to kind of flow in these weird things where you just, like, where one week you're like, oh yeah, no, that's really good. And the other week you're like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, that's the problem, is that it's just like, I think, like, and I understand the idea of the collective brain and wanting to, like, keep an area for open chat, but, like, quite frankly, it is a proven fact that some free speech silences other people's free speech. Like, you can't, like, speech is not, like, all speech is not created equal. Like, hate speech is going to silence the speech of those that are being spoken hate on. Like, you cannot tolerate things, period. So when you do tolerate things and you do host these live chats and you do review these people's products, even if you don't review them anymore, you just had an entire live stream defending this person and you saying that people would not have gotten along well in the 90s because of death albums, and talking about how that live stream, don't watch that live stream
stream.
bad. I left that live
my
stream.
blood pressure's going up again.
I was going to
That's
make
crazy.
a literal. I was like, I left that live stream and I was like, I sat down and I made a 30-minute video. I deleted it because I was like, I ain't even doing it. But I literally sat down and talked 30 minutes to my camera straight about how bullshit that live stream was.
I remember watching that video she made about a full face of canceled brands. And that was like, this channel is not for me. Not for me.
Yeah,
The
all canceled
entire
brands are good people.
the cremated conversation. Audra and I literally were ranting at each other over Marco Polo about it because of how tone deaf and missing the point it was. So that was why last week on the Monday live chat that I did, the fact that it came up and then there were so many people that were just like, actually, you know, I feel the same. I was like, what?
Yeah.
No.
And I think
I do want to say
gaslighting.
Yeah, exactly. And
I deleted the footage. I'm sorry. I was just answering your question. Because my iMovie was messing up, so I had to delete all of the footage in my iMovie and reinstall it because it wasn't allowing me to import out. If you want to see me roast some shit, my last video on Natasha Denona, I kind of went in. So like, I went in a lot like less vicious than I'm going in right now.
I have it on
in.
my watch later.
And it was really roasty toasty. Yeah.
I just have to say though,
and let's not forget to mention that the chat was disabled towards the end. We haven't said yet, for the people who did not know and were not there, that in the middle of all of this, when everyone was calling out the mods, Kelsey, Brianna, Jay was calling out the mods. Everyone was like, why is no one moderating this? And they just shut down the chat. Let's not mention that. Let's not forget to mention that also happened.
Even Kelsey Brianna was saying, like, you know, politely. She was saying politely, like, the most vital.
What the hell is happening here?
I just wanted to say, on the upside, that was a big platform for all of the creators. I hope it only brings them. My fear with the way the chat went was that I hope people that are racist and haters don't end up over on their channels. Although engagement. I do want to say, I was just looking at Audra's channel. She has instantly gained about 150 subscribers.
Hell yeah.
1,500 subscribers.
I don't know if
in a couple hours. I don't know if she's
great.
watching, which I don't blame her, but because she was at like just over 1,400 this morning, and she's at 1,580 right now.
That's great.
I'm excited for her, and I think that she and everyone deserves that. So I hope it's nothing but growth for everyone that was there. But and if anybody is saying, I saw a comment earlier wondering if the live chat was just completely taken off the stream. A lot of times, if you try to rewatch early on a live stream, like from Jen's channel, sometimes the live chat doesn't show up. But I don't know if what they did means that it's completely gone, period, or not. But it's worth watching and rewatching without the live chat.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
She does. Audra's
absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she did amazing in the chat.
I will never get over that face that Jen made when Audra brought up That was a classic. That's a
Oh
that's a
my God.
memeable moment right there.
Can we talk about Jen's face?
Can we fix that?
Yeah.
Can we
Oh boy.
Can please someone
'Cause
talk
I
about
think
Jen's
part of
face?
it was the chat. I think that part of it was the chat. I think I figured because she was the one who
She was
disabled
like
the
this.
chat, I'm pretty sure. So I think that part of it was her being like, what the fuck is going on in the chat? But when Audra brought that up, I could feel the white guilt through my screen. I could feel it. She was just like just that face, and and she also lives she lives in like Baltimore and stuff. So I know the type of people that live around like her. Like they're all like the type of people that are moving in with like the gentrification going on in DC right now, and they're all like, so I know the exact type of person, and I'm just like, I know the exact type of person, and I know that feeling. Like I've seen it on so many people's like, I died.
Yeah.
Irene, if you do nothing else tonight, just go back. It's towards like the middle end of the live stream. Like, just fucking watch that.
Yeah, if you had seen my face when I
I'm
saw
gonna
her,
like we need to clip. I don't want to make that. I mean, that's kind of mean. I don't hate Jen that much, but like she annoys me. But
don't worry, I'm the one who said before that I hope someone had screenshotted that. So you're not the only one.
We can go back and screenshot it. There's no reason we can put up. I'm literally pulling up the live right now.
It's still there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up the live if I'm like looking intently into things. That's what I'm doing. Okay, let's see if I can find it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it's. Oh, give me a second. I'm gonna actually watch the ad because it's going to a good cause. Why are y'all? Is this a Domino's ad or a Honey ad? The fuck?
That's the other thing. What is wrong with these ads?
Dude, these ads they gotta chill. Now it's a door. Okay. So it's a Honey ad with DoorDash and Domino's.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you guys very well because I have like an ad like blasting into my ear. So I apologize if I was talking over any of y'all. About my head.
What's up with YouTube ads? What's up with YouTube ads? I mean,
YouTube Premium is so worth it.
I've been watching
YouTube Premium is so worth it.
I've been watching an anti-MLM video, and there's actually MLM ads playing in those videos.
Yeah. I was trying to watch an anti-MLM video, and there was this guy like, "Oh, do you want to make money fast?" And I was like, "This is an MLM."
What? I'm literally watching a video that's preventing people from going to people like you.
Here we go. Okay, there we go. Okay,
you found it?
See. Oh no! I was just posting this real quick.
Yeah, the ads are ridiculous.
I think it's farther back from this.
But someone in the chat is talking about that street that they renamed in Washington. Like, what do you guys think about that? How do you guys feel about that?
What structural change are they passing too?
I don't know about that actually.
Other than Donald Trump and now living in 1600 Black Lives Matter. I mean,
like they're gonna pass some laws on the police. Anything like that, please?
Yeah.
Put your money where your pain is.
Yeah, I think that's a way to distract people. Oh look, but now the street is called Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, it's the same thing that happened here. Like, oh, they changed the name of the street that was named after a military officer in the dictatorship. So now we're good. No, we're not good.
Yeah.
Did you see what happened in my country? We are not good.
That's exactly it, Courtney. Read the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like,
Okay.
yeah, here's a street. We gave y'all a street. Shut up now. Here's a street. Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the end, the only thing that happens is that the Karens are like, oh, PC culture is ruining everything, and the people affected by the real
I found it.
are like, I don't care about the name of the street. I don't care. Do something important. But the only people who care are the Karens.
Okay, wait. I'm trying to find the exact timestamp here real quick.
That's right, T.
Like T said, that ain't
Yes.
activism. That ain't it.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm looking as well, but I'm like, you know what? I should stop having two of us be distracted. I'll let you do it. But yes,
You're also looking at
Okay,
Nate is on the job of looking.
yes, exactly. I was like, he's
Thing.
they're very focused.
Okay, it's
Yeah,
at
seriously.
43. Okay, it's at 43
yo,
minutes
They
and
just
7
made
seconds.
a crime this week.
Okay, so
Link
43
just
minutes
became
and
a
7
crime
seconds
this
is when Audra starts talking about it. That needs to be a GIF. That needs to be a GIF.
Yeah.
That needs to be a GIF.
I don't
43 minutes and 7 seconds.
Guys, I also love like Jen's expression when Tina
Okay, I'm back.
said when Tina mentioned that they will make a gig, and Jen's face was like
Yeah, when Tina was like, well, there was the film that made it big, and
Oh yeah! That was cool. Oh, because
Yeah, that
Jen
was-
defended
that was-
Marlena.
yes.
That
she's
irritated the
He's
shit out of
friendly
me.
with her.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean,
When
I will give her that. Like Jen did say, like, "Oh, I have a bias in this scenario." Like,
Yeah.
I'll give her that. But also, like, I don't really think that she meant. Like, I think that she was like, what do you think she meant by copy striking someone's video? Like, that's no. And then she was like trying to downplay it as in like, oh, it goes away in a couple of months. It doesn't matter. You're trying to silence someone that you don't like, and you could just make a quick fix to it. But instead, Marlena's gonna get on her high horse and she's gonna talk down and be like, well, I don't really know how to do this. Or I don't really know. Just people are talking at me and it's making me anxious. And just
I
get
need
it out.
a poor
Okay.
white
Okay.
victim.
He was like, I don't
I know, Marlena.
I don't know how
Marlena, if you're
this
watching
works.
this, I may or may not be sorry. It really depends on how shitty of a person you are in real life.
And look,
Not
guys,
sorry.
I have been watching Tina. I have been watching Tina for a long time, so I saw the whole thing
Same.
between them happen live.
Same.
Like I saw when she reviewed the pigments or whatever, and she didn't like them. Then I saw when Marlena didn't like it and all that. And like for the people that haven't been watching this whole time.
Yeah.
Like for the people that haven't been watching all this time, it was easy to believe Marlena. But for the people that have been watching Tina this whole time, we all knew the truth. Like we all knew.
Here's the thing that I keep coming back to with Jen, not to just specifically, well, I guess just specifically coming back to her. First, comparing like her to Tina, her channel right now is 3 times as big as Tina's.
Yeah, sure.
She did not need to talk about the Marlena situation.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
times when
And-
she's too much like a commentary drama channel. And I just am like, that's not your strong point because you don't want to actually stand by what you say. You want to say
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, and then
You kind of backpedal and you're like, well, I didn't mean to insult and it didn't mean to do. It's just like either be that vocal ass bitch stand
Yeah,
by it.
Emily, but
Or
but
don't.
she pulled this thing that influencers
Technically,
always
Tracy's
pull,
idea.
like, oh, but so many people were asking me to talk about this.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
she said.
Also, yeah, because I do think that she changed, and just this is like a minute point, but I do think that she changed the name after they broke up or
Yeah,
after they
she
split
changed
up.
the name.
It's Cheetah
Yeah,
Bear now, right?
she changed the name. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but still to have it
it's
named
still
Coco
it's still
Bear
like it was
for-
still a little bit.
yeah.
It's still a little bit.
I
Yeah.
still don't understand. I still don't understand the whole rebrand. What was the need for it? What did she really change?
I don't.
What?
She
Like,
needed
she's
people to get
and-
excited about her brand again.
Like, look, she's
Mhm.
not going to get back that 2013, 2014 hype. She's not getting it back. Okay,
Yeah.
she's not going back there. Like,
Um,
whatever.
Yeah, Rachel Joy. I'm not sure if she's the reason that they got canceled, but to be fair, I think that she actually had some valid points in that argument, and the way that they kind of
Yeah.
came back. Jen isn't all bad. Like
I
think
don't think
that
I don't
yeah.
think the Graham case, was right. I mean,
No.
yeah,
they
the crank case
were
thing was
petty.
yeah.
They were
The
petty.
crank, well, because they were like labeling like ingredients, if I remember correctly, right? Or
Yeah,
they had like
they
a
were-
spelling error or
They
something. And
misspelled something, and she
Yeah.
said that she was basically like, oh, they were mean to
True.
me. But they did reply on Instagram, like a lot of those brands that actually need a person to manage their Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Also,
the Graham case had a really C palette
Yeah.
moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
But also
Yeah.
on the Divina
They went
rebrand,
both
or sorry, the Divina, the Makeup Geek rebrand, those square palettes in the square pants is the worst thing that I have ever seen. Like, okay, look, this is why they're circles. These are my Divina singles, but like, I can actually pick these singles up if I need to out of the palette. Why would you ever make it square like that? That
Okay, but
bothers me so
not
much.
In my opinion, the worst part was that it was a rounded square, but there was all this extra space, and
Yeah,
it wasn't
exactly.
like, oh, it's enough space to like get a spatula
Yeah.
in there, and so it was like
But you
a
all,
finger's
yeah.
width, and I'm like, it's a repackaging, but you're
Yeah.
trying to mix old packaging and new packaging
Yeah.
and make it seem like a big fucking deal when it's just rounded corner square.
Yeah,
pants.
it's
Also,
just-
those
I'm saying
lines
like-
would bother me like so much because
Yeah.
because here's reality check real quick. Like no one's going to sit down and space their palette like that. No one. Like they're going to push them all off in the corner and then you can't get to them. Like that's just what's going to happen. Like
Yeah.
there's no way that as weird as I am about shit, I would not do that. Like anyway,
No, I
that
don't think she was
rebrand
expecting
dumb.
them to space it out. I think she was like, no, you have space around the edge to get around them. And it's like,
I don't
okay,
know what she
one,
was
Shit
expecting.
gave me
You're
anxiety. I
so-
don't.
your stupid ass. Okay, the stupid round corner squares. You don't need space. You can the dumb round corner squares. You can
Yes.
use a little spatula to get them out.
Yeah.
So
Guys,
you
so listen.
using old packaging.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes, but lethal, they're like perfect squares.
So-
and they're nice.
Yeah, they're
Lethal actually has a good
Yeah,
formula.
No, listen.
That too.
I haven't tried Makeup Geek Shadows. Putting that out there. Do not sue me for slander.
So,
All right, have fun.
Oh,
Was
okay.
that you,
But,
Diana?
I have
listen.
to.
No,
I
Diana.
have
Sorry,
to
I
go
can't
pay
figure out who's
attention to
talking.
my mom.
Oh, Mo. Got it,
Dinner?
got it.
Oh,
Bye.
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 Thank you for everything. You're
See
amazing.
you.
Yeah.
So listen, guys. A couple weeks ago, I was watching Bailey Sarian, Mystery Makeup Monday, and she never talks about what makeup she's using because she's just telling her story. So she was using this blue eyeshadow.
Yeah.
Girl, she was struggling.
I remember
she was
this.
Struggling. She was having the worst day ever with the eyeshadow, and I was like, I That eyeshadow looks familiar.
I don't even know if I'm.
Welcome, Thorn.
And I was like, that eyeshadow looks familiar, girl. And she was looking all like patchy, and she was trying to like put glitter, and then she had to put some big eyelashes, and she was frustrated. And in the end, she was like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, but this makeup gift we put on the shadow." And oh my God, that would happen. That would be if Vegetarian could make that shadow work, girl.
I blacked out
Keep
and
your
bought
coin.
a
Keep your
purple
coin.
quad, from Makeup Geek from the newest, because it was in my
Wait.
Target.
Emily, don't
Figured
you
black
have this
out, I bought
though?
it.
Why do you need a purple quad?
I don't
you
have it
this?
yet. I'm just getting
Oh,
it.
you don't?
I bought it months ago.
Okay.
it months ago.
Okay.
And I've touched it like 3 times. I struggle every single time, and I don't understand the hype, and I'll probably declutter it because they've just like, I had a gift card, and this was at least 2 months ago. I picked it up like 3 times. Every single time, it's a fucking struggle bus. So I'm like, why would I buy any else of this bullshit racist white woman's makeup? No thanks.
Also, Emily,
I'm
I
good.
love how you said I blacked out, and and like that's the only reason.
That's how I've ended up with my entire makeup collection. I think I've blacked out since I've started makeup, and I just every morning I wake up and I'm just like, oh hey, my collection's here. Like I don't remember how I never
that's
got
what
it.
happened.
Yeah.
That's what
I
And
happened.
me
I
in a
didn't-
I
Target.
woke up and
No.
there were 100 lipsticks. My collection.
Yeah, I have like I actually have 100 palettes, and I feel fairly confident in my ability to name every single palette that I have off the top of my head.
100, Nathan.
I
You
have
can leave me
144
alone.
lipsticks.
What? I'm
Thank
judging.
you.
I'm judging.
Thorn gets the feeling.
Most of them were free.
Okay, well,
Nice.
never mind. You don't get the feeling. Okay, well, never mind then. I'm just outing myself.
I used to own like 400 lipsticks.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm not the only hoarder here. Thank you. I feel validated.
Like 2 years ago, but that was bad. I didn't even have a makeup Instagram. Like, what was I doing?
I think that one of my problems is
have
literally
stacks of palettes right here. So
I-
you're not
I
a
do
hoarder.
too.
The only reason
These
I
are
don't have
all
stacks is
single
because I cleaned
shadows.
off my desk.
Wait,
for
you
this.
guys want to see? You want to see how many freaking
These are all
laptop palettes
singles.
I have?
I have letter dividers back here of like, oh god,
Just
nope, I'm not showing y'all that.
these are
that-
some of my giant
Don't worry.
back
We don't-
here.
I like how
We've devolved into a makeup collection.
I love-
video.
Yeah.
yes.
I
almost
I'm very
always
proud
keep
to say
these
that I
sitting out.
only own 15
Oh god.
palettes, but
I
that's probably because all the palettes I want are for brands that are not available here.
That's fair.
If I lived in the States, my apartment would have palettes. Yeah.
Guys,
Olivia, I am not okay. I feel ashamed about this. I have not
I
used
love
the
that
power
sound.
palette yet. So I got the power palette. Well, no. Okay, I used it on my mom. Okay, so I got it 2 days ago, and I didn't expect to get it, right? So I convinced my mom to model for me, so I could use my mom as a model, but because I already had done my makeup. But then yesterday, this came, and this has just been occupying all of my thoughts, hopes, and dreams since its arrival. So I have not actually gotten around to using the power palette on myself, and I kind of feel ashamed.
And it's funny because the day yours arrived was the day I had made a duping out palette of that
it was.
palette.
Yeah,
And we were both talking about on Discord
Yes.
that my multi-chrome is not multi-chroming right now. But that's my lighting. My lighting is trash.
Well, okay, so my lighting is literally my computer. Wait, y'all want to see something funny?
Because I'm thinking about JD Glow, no way. I'm having heart palpitations.
That's what I would.
I just made a JD Glow order, and apparently it's supposed to come in Tuesday, and I'm so. So the thing is, y'all have influenced me to buy so much. I also made an order for the Colored Rain Vivid Pigments palette that is also coming in on Tuesday.
Yeah,
And I'm
another
trying
one.
to get myself like in order because I'm like, okay, I am very small. I have no money. To quote John Mulaney, because that's how I feel whenever I regret, like when I make a big makeup purchase. But
I only just recently binged John Mulaney's stand-up, and that I mean, I had seen that little clip before, but just like seeing it again, I was like, that's a delight.
he is
And
my
that reminds-
absolute
My
favorite.
favorite bit about the John Mulaney stand-up is the my wife part.
That's my wife.
Because it
Bye,
makes
Alicia. Thank you for hanging out.
Protagonist
Bye.
It sounds so much better saying, "Can my girlfriend come?" I've watched that so many times because Case isn't super into stand-up comedy, but John Mulaney is the one person, like him and Sarah Millican are the ones that like we watch together absolutely all the time.
Yeah.
So he's fabulous.
Yeah, it always makes me think about the romance novels I read, because the protagonist is always like, my wife.
Emily, can more people join join us?
StreamYard, only 6 people can join at a time.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I'm willing to step out because I do need to like actually get some dinner soon. That's probably why I was like extra angry, is because I have no food in this body at all. So I will pop out, but keep up in the chat so that way someone else can join.
I touched my
Hiya.
Alex.
I have to correct Ruthie. I fucking love Lethal Cosmetics matte shadows. Georgia Harris thinks they're overrated.
Ooh, okay. We've got
Yeah,
some-
it's
Georgia,
the
the one that
shimmers are only okay to me. I have other shimmers that I love and adore, but the mattes from Lethal, but also the mattes from Colored Rain,
So what I'm
But the
hearing
mattes from
is
Lethal, I
that y'all
think,
need a
a
tiebreaker.
little easier to work.
Y'all need a tiebreaker,
Emily-
so I have to buy
Emily,
some
Rachel
Lethal
wants to
Cosmetics, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh yeah,
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 y'all need a
remember
tiebreaker, so
Rachel,
Half-
are you in the street? Are you in the Discord? If you're in there, it's pinned to the top. But otherwise, I can link it here.
who's joining in?
Rachel Joy.
Oh, cool.
Where is that pin?
Yeah, I remember that debate about the lethal shadows.
Because I was like, I disagree.
Yeah, I remember when you. I don't know if it was you. It was Georgia and
Lacey also loves them,
someone else.
and
Yeah.
Lacey is like, I disagree.
Abby Williamson
I,
really
will, I,
likes
will, I
Lethal.
believe in Lacey. I trust Lacey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Pete thinks they're overrated. So
I don't know. Abby Williams thinks they're
He's
really
coming
good as
in
well.
with the tea.
So
Abby thinks they're overrated.
no, I think she thinks they're
I didn't
really
know
good.
that.
She got
Yeah,
I
I know
think
she
she got a
likes them.
little panty, right? Yeah, and she thinks that they're really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Did I say patty?
she has a 9 pan.
Okay, look,
I was
I'm
like,
gonna
I don't
out
know what you
myself.
said.
I haven't slept in 30 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
It came out for a week. Hey!
Hey friends, I look terrible because I'm still sweaty from Pinky Sweat's class.
If it makes you feel any
I
better,
don't-
I took off all of my makeup because I thought that I was gonna put makeup back on, and then I was just like, I'm not gonna put makeup back on.
I appreciate that everybody was like, no, let's have a chat. I'm like, oh, okay, I can live stream.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah.
yes.
We need this. We need
should
this.
do it
Like I seriously felt
Gotta
like
get
physically sick after
Did we
that.
yeah. Well, wait, sorry. Someone was asking what Discord was in the chat.
Oh, I need to remember to read the chat.
I just
apologize.
linked it.
Oh, okay, cool.
The Discord is
pulled out
open.
my
I just don't
phone.
publicly.
I
just
pulled
don't
my
publicly
phone to read
put it,
the
like,
chat,
everywhere.
and then I realized that to read the chat, I have to be like this because that's how bad my eyesight is. So yeah, I gave up.
T, what are you whining me about? What do you need to
Yeah.
know? Oh, okay, no sleep.
Maybe the no
Okay,
sleep.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what happened, right? Is I
yeah, I
stayed
like
up
this.
late and I don't so I don't have my ADHD med on me right now. I just don't because so I've been on the same ADHD med for like over 10 years and I've been on the highest dose for like 5 years. But they were like messing around with like a homework boost dosage, but for some reason whenever my psychiatrist messed around with the homework boost dosage, all of a sudden my insurance, like, the dosage is messed up. We need prior authorization, even though we gave them prior authorization 3 months earlier. So like now it's like this thing where they shouldn't have needed prior authorization because we gave them prior authorization last month. Because it's a controlled substance, so we have to update it every month. So we have to go through this song and dance. So I've been without it for like a week. So I just end up not falling asleep. Because I literally get distracted from falling asleep. And then, so since I got distracted from falling asleep, I also made a tea that was high in caffeine, and I'm also a bitch to caffeine. So my mom and I we're talking about having to go to the grocery store, and I work at Whole Foods. I'm not currently working because my family's at risk, but I do have like my ID, and if you have an ID, then you can get in early. So I like to try to do that and shop before everyone gets in because I don't want to kill my family yet. Room for change.
Also.
But so I was just like, well, screw it. We have to go to Whole Foods super early in the morning anyways. So I'm just gonna drink a cup of coffee, and I've just been up since.
So now you're like,
that's why I'm more ornery. I need to start sleep depriving myself and then filming YouTube videos.
I approve of that message. I also just wanted to say, I wanted to comment on, because Legal and Lipstick said that something about lethal, and I wanted to just say that, like, I agree. She said some I find that some brands people love, they don't work on me because I don't see pigmentation, like Sugar Pill, which so lethal is a more powdery formula, which also could be really detrimental on deeper skin tones. So I get a lot of pigmentation and it's buildable, but I also see like 2 Black women in the chat saying like, well, I don't know if Legal and Lipstick has tried them, but two people saying,
yeah, it's always important to check on that, because sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, this eyeshadow works on me, but I'm like one shade from not having a color.
Yeah, you see this.
I am not.
I glow.
I am melanin void. So.
Yeah. And also, Frankie, I feel that's so hard. I think that the funniest thing that I've ever done was that I was binge watching Nisa Pisa late at night.
Yeah,
and I had a sudden compulsion to put on lip gloss, so I literally
been there,
done that. This is the basement. My makeup room is in the basement, and I literally came down to the basement to put on a lip gloss before I fell asleep because I was binge watching Nisa Pisa.
Yeah, the amount of time I have been watching Nisa, and I'm like, oh wow, it's 4 a.m.
I mean, I've not had a good sleep schedule for over a year because I've been like freelance work from home for over a year. And I never have been like a morning person. And so now I'm like, oh, it's 8 a.m. I guess I'm going to go to bed now.
I used to be a super morning person because I used to do orders for my store. So I used to get up at 3 a.m. every day. So I used to get up at 3 a.m. every day, get into work by 4 a.m., get like all of my shit done, and then go to sleep by like 8 p.m. So that like, I don't know what it is, but like when I wake up in the morning, I feel super productive. But then college just fucked me over because my roommate was a night person, and I couldn't fall asleep while he was awake. So I'm just now stuck in this perpetual cycle.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I used to work the night shift at one work, and then I got a job that had like regular hours, and I was like, how does one sleep at night? What is that?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Nighttime is my happy time.
Your secrets, please, because I don't understand.
Rachel, I want to clarify. I actually asked for that shift. I am insane enough to want that shift. Because think about it, right? If you come in at 4 a.m. and you... Oh, did Thorn go?
Oh, wait, what happened? If I just clicked something and accidentally knocked anybody out, let me know. Feel free to come back in. It's possible that I just clicked something.
I think Thorn and Diana froze? or something. I saw them like frozen on the screen, and then they went. I don't know if it was just on my end.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Okay. Oh, hey.
Let me see if
Okay, we're back.
Let me see if I can.
Girls here.
Yeah.
But no.
Oh, and now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a problem with
we're
not being
back.
able to hear any of you.
Oh, yeah, that's an important. But
So I went
so,
through
like,
every microphone in the room, and this is the only one that works.
that's a mood. Yeah. But like, okay, but think about this, right? You have an 8-hour shift, right? You get into work at 4 in the morning. So you're getting off every day at 11 or 12. You have literally the rest of your day to do anything. Because like I'm such an anxious mess that like if I have a schedule from like 4 p.m. to 11 p.m., then I'm doing nothing before work. Because like I just like I'm the type of person that like gets to my job like 15 minutes early, like consistently. Like,
Oh, that was me when I was in university. I hated having classes in the middle of the afternoon. I hated it because I couldn't do anything before.
Yeah.
I had all the time. Yeah, I had a class at 3 p.m. and I was like, no. I got up super early, but I couldn't do anything before the class. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, thank you,
And
Courtney.
thank you, Tracy.
Oh, sorry. I do want to say earlier to the sugar pill questions. I personally bought Love Plus because I was like, yeah, it's going to be the perfect red. I'm here for it. Ugh. I got it, put it on my face, and it's hot. And it is not matte, like they say. It does have shimmer in it. So that bothered me that they did. Or no, I'm sorry. It was the acid green one. That one had shimmer
was it the
in
sugar
Oh, the
pill
green?
one?
That
Yeah.
sugar does not advertise, hey, we have a little bit of shimmer in this
Yeah.
matte to help blend it out. I just want to be told that before I buy, you know? So it was disappointing to me that it wasn't entirely matte. And then Love Plus, I don't know if it's because I'm so pale or if it's not like an actual deep enough, pigmented enough red. It went pink on me. I wasn't really impressed with the formula. Like it blended out fine, but I haven't touched them, honestly.
Yeah.
I definitely reach for my vivid pigments more, and I have Sauce, which is the red from the vivid pigment from Colored Rain. That is a perfect red.
I think I'm gonna end up rebuying the Vivid Pigments palette because I had the singles, and I had a shadow drop. I've had a couple of them in my time, and Sauce was one that broke.
Considering all the singles you have, saying that you're going to buy
to rebuy because I dropped the palette, so I don't have Sauce. I don't have the deepest green and the deepest blue, and they've reformulated slightly, and so I'm like, do I want to just rebuy and just like have it all together?
That's
but
me. That's literally me. I want to make fun of you for that, but that's literally me. So I can't because I know that someone's gonna go back to this live stream in like 2 months from now. Someone's gonna be in my comments being like,
they're just some of the best matte, like highly pigmented formulas I've ever tried. I'm gonna see if I can hop out but still host, so I can give Rachel Joy some time while y'all are hanging out. I've never done this before, so let's see if it works.
Yeah, Legal and Lipstick. I didn't think the pigmentation was great in Sugar Pill personally. I've tried a lot of shadows.
Hey, Rachel.
Feffy's in charge now. King of the Hill, you know?
Feffy, you've made it.
Yeah, I'm the worst person under pressure, so you're in great hands. Yeah.
You're doing great.
I saw Emily say something in chat and then it immediately disappeared.
I'm trying so hard to catch up with the chat right now.
Here,
chat
yeah.
open it up.
I'm still here.
Like browser.
I accidentally scrolled up.
I have been trying to see the chat, but
I can't.
The font on my phone is really tiny. So
really? I've only heard good things about Sydney Grace. I haven't heard anything.
You can tell in the photo, so that didn't bug me as much, but I feel like it was, I don't know if it was Photoshop necessarily or just not obvious in the Sugar Pill photo, but that does, just tell us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know that Emily has said like mediocre things about them, but I actually am like big fan of the Divina mats currently.
I love Divina.
You
Their mats
but
are
do you
amazing.
like the mats as well? Have you tried the mats or have you just tried the multi-chromes? Because their multi-chromes are amazing, but I think that people are sleeping on their mats. That's my opinion.
I'm about to try their mats because I've been.
What
looking...
what do y'all think about the blush stripe situation?
The what?
You know,
Blush
the
stripe?
blush stripe.
Oh
like,
God, what did they
oh,
do?
they said they made a big fuss about they closing their brand, but then a few days later they were oh no, we are opening another one and we're gonna keep on keeping
yeah,
on.
no, I did hear about that. That's shady. I don't.
Yeah, really shady.
That's shady. I almost bought.
Are they rebranding? Are they coming with another brand, or
No,
are
they
named the same?
I don't know.
They
sorry,
essentially. I think it's a rebrand, but they like said that they were shutting down completely.
Yeah.
Also,
and people bought all of their inventory because they thought that they were never coming back, and people were like, "Oh yeah, let's buy everything."
All their stock.
I agree with that,
I
legal.
remember seeing people say like, "Oh, they're going out of business. You need to buy now." If
Yeah. It's a marketing voice.
Yeah.
Also, I
And then,
appreciate y'all in the chat pulling up for Divina mats because y'all the real ones. They're so great.
Koya Pete's 96 did say they are powdery, and that is true.
Yeah,
they do.
they
have
are.
pigment in the pan, but it's worth it because the pigment and blendability is amazing.
Yeah.
I
My favorite all matte look is with Divina's.
Not only that, but if
personally,
you
like,
have a nickel allergy, if you have a nickel allergy, you might have a reaction to talc. And Divina Shadows, literally none of them use talc.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. Also, Divina was out there protesting. I don't know if y'all saw that. If y'all follow, because I follow Divina on. I followed the Divina account, but I also mutuals with the owner on Twitter and on Instagram. And she was posting that she was out there marching, and I was like, because Divina was quiet for a little bit, and I was kind of like, are they gonna? And then like they come out and she's like, oh yeah, no, we've been busy marching. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I don't blame y'all for not posting, but like, I was just like, Divina, okay, the owner of Divina is what everyone thought Kat Von D. What's my hot take? Kat Von D is this chick like privileged white chick with had tattoos and like still needs expression. Thought that because she had tattoo.
I don't know who it is because I muted and it didn't go away.
Yeah, it didn't go away when I muted either.
I've been having problems with not being able to hear some of us.
Does anyone have any like people like walking above them?
Yeah, let's. I saw that the strike was doing weird stuff.
I'm gonna mute.
Is it some kind of interference?
Rachel or
yeah, I don't know if
everyone mute themselves real quick. Diana, I think it's you.
I think it might have been Diana, yeah.
I think it might have been. Wait, unmute?
Yeah, it's
Diana, you can unmute.
Unmute Diana.
Trial by fire. Trial by fire. Are you getting kicked off the island?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but you've got some noise. Do you have a fan on in your room?
No.
I was worried because I have.
Okay. How do I get the group?
You hit the X button and then you re-click the link. I don't have.
Okay.
Yeah, I was worried that it was me because I had my space heater on because
I was like,
yeah. But no, okay. I want to rant. I want to get on this rant real quick. Okay, right? So the Steel Nisi Pieces words, right? Kat Von D made a makeup brand for people that think that having tattoos makes them oppressed, right? Like So Kat Von D, people wanted her to be this edgy like bitch or whatever, like like vegan tough, like all of this shit, and then she's just like a pushover, anti-vax, anti-Semitic. Davina's out here protesting, like Davina's.
By the way, Nate, I don't understand how Lisa thought that was a cringy Tumblr post. That was
That was true. That was on point. That was on point.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Yes, a lot. Yeah. No, that was a great video. I loved that. Was one of my favorite videos from
that
her.
video.
Black
like,
Beauty.
when I'm sad, I watched that video.
Owner's name is Deanna of Davina.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Sorry, the owner of Davina's name is Deanna.
Deandre, right?
Black Beauty. Deandra.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Deandre, yeah. I always call her Davina by accident. I know it's Deandre,
Also,
but I just always call her
Black
Davina.
Beauty has an awesome channel if anyone isn't following.
I will. I need on the Discord. I need to like have people because I think that there's like I had an influx of followers right as I was like joining. So people that were like, in the Lagutta gang are like getting mixed in with like other people that just found me naturally. So I think that there's been a bunch of people that have followed me that like I want to follow back that I just haven't found.
Yeah,
so,
Do you have an Instagram?
Yeah, I have an Instagram and a YouTube.
What is your Instagram?
Fashionista, because I'm punny.
And same
It
here.
did not come up.
It's like Fashionista, but Nate. Sorry, Thorn.
Maybe I just can't spell fashion.
Because I had like 50 followers last I checked, and it's now getting to 350 or something. So, like, if you have followed me recently and I didn't follow back, just tell me because I have no idea. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. You followed me, and then I realized because I was watching Emily's chat from last Monday, and I saw you in the chat, and I was like, "Wait, I know that icon." And then I found you on Instagram, and I was like, "Hey."
Yeah.
I found some people that way, or looked out a game came up as suggested when I followed some of y'all.
Oh yeah.
Also, I forget what the hell I was gonna say.
Yeah, I can't find it, Nate.
Yeah, also Emily, yeah. I have all of the Galaxy Dust, but T on Galaxy Dusk is that they do not need these 3 red base shades. I'm sorry. I love these, but this is like
I have the Galaxy Dust.
All 3 of those reds do not need to be in the same collection.
They're very similar.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Like you showed them for a bit, and I was like, "Oh, are those the same?"
Yeah. Like these 3, right? Like they have different shifts. Like this is a little bit more of a yellow shift. Like, see, but they're very similar. Yeah,
I need to try our Davina.
That's still one of the brands I want to try if I can.
I agree with that. Also, because I think that the bundles are actually pretty much the same price as like them collectively together. So I would recommend just like going through and picking your ones. I kind of just bought the bundle.
I personally I bought 2 bundles and I'm really happy I did, but I also like sat on it for a long time and made sure
and I think
that's what I did when I got Lethal.
I don't think that all bundles are created equally. Like I think that the candy cakes shimmers that it like just released, I think that all of those are very different from each other. I think that you could get all of those and be fine. Like I think it's specifically the Galaxy, and I think that the Kaleidoscope like the Butterfly Kaleidoscope have a similar problem where there's some overlap.
Yeah, I remember seeing them on videos and being like, "Oh no, some of these are pretty similar."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but there are creator discount codes for 15% off. An FYI.
You can also get a 20%
Or is
off
it 20?
the first time. No. I think there's creator discount codes that are 15. When I placed my first order, part of the reason it was so big is because it was right around when this stuff started happening, and I was like, the world's gonna end. Might as well try out all of these shadows. And then I think that you get a 20% discount for emails for the first time. I can't remember.
Yeah, I did that. I did that with Give Me Glow. I spent probably close to $200 in the past month. And I don't have this money. I don't have a job right now. I work on a college campus.
You were like The world's on fire.
But
Let's
I
have
think
it.
we're getting feedback
Right,
from Diana's.
they're
Guys,
beautiful.
do you have anything going on around you?
No, I don't. I'm all alone here. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna mute again.
What you could do is that maybe you can just like stay muted, and then like if you need to say something, you can just like unmute yourself real quick and say it.
Okay.
Because it's not
Yeah,
that
yeah.
disruptive if you're like talking over it, but I think
I'm
that's
gonna check. I'm gonna check if there's something around.
are they Terra Moon and Davina are similar. Yeah, I found Davina
They
first,
are.
so I'm brand loyal now. And I've also heard that Terra Moon has some like I've heard like Terra Moon has a couple of
Wow.
lacklusters.
Dr. Bay is in the chat.
Who is?
If
Hey,
anyone
Kelsey.
didn't know or follow Kelsey Brianna Shea, she is getting her doctorate. This is my doggo Xander. She's getting her doctorate in business. So she
Ooh,
is
okay.
today. And Glam Life Glam Life Chelsea, I think is what it is. She is also
Oh, that's so
and she
cool.
University. So it was really cool to talk to Chelsea. She does anatomy and physiology. But just to plug their channels, and they're both Black creators.
Can someone
Yeah.
with link privileges put that in the chat?
I'm
Oh.
writing them
Yeah,
down
let me
because I'm
go grab this stuff.
Also, I'm
Yeah,
catching up on the chat, and
I
saw-
also have link privileges, but my phone just died. So
Yes, Kelsey was
Did you
in
feel
the
like that?
chat, pulling the fuck up with us.
Yeah. Oh, that was well. Okay,
I'm gonna-
we need something entertaining, quick.
Sorry, what?
I said we need something entertaining, quick. Who knows how to juggle?
I can
Okay,
go
let's
get the
juggle.
cat.
Okay,
I can
ready?
get my cat too. It's in the room.
He makes a noise
Uh,
if I hold him.
We tried. We tried.
Yes,
My-
if you are not following Kelsey,
I'll be right back.
please
I-
go follow Kelsey.
yeah, she's so great.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
should follow her.
I need to like catch up on. Like, I feel like I'm
The
simultaneously
The
not having
accidental
enough
live
content.
on Friday was great.
Yeah. So like weird enough, I feel like like simultaneously I feel like I have too much YouTube content and not enough YouTube content. Like where
Same.
I'm like
There are
Well,
tons
I
of videos to watch, but none of them are the one you want to see.
yeah, and I think that I'm getting pockets too where like I'll forget like or I won't get notifications for like a channel, you know, like
Yes,
you know,
that
like
is Kelsey.
his channel will not get notified for me, and then I won't notice anything for like a week, and then I'll go in and check and like be like, oh hey, there's a pocket full of content right here.
Yeah, I have to set all notifications for all the channels I watch, or I don't get anything.
What I do is that every day I check my subscription section, and then I see whatever videos the creators have posted, and I add them to my watch later, so that I don't miss anything.
See, I
And-
used to do that, and then I realized that watch later is where everything goes to die. Because what I would do is that I would, if I wanted to watch the video, I would click on it.
Yeah, for
And
me,
if I was about to like, I don't know, go back to like my classes or something, then I would hit it and watch later. But then when I reopened my thing, then I
for
was starting
me,
at my
watch later. It's like when people recommend me a TV show, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch that. And then I never watch it. Or even worse, it's like my to be read list. Like, oh, I have a bunch of books in my room. I'm not reading any of those. That's my watch.
I use my watch
Wait.
later, but I have like 100 videos there. So
Wait, real quick. Kelsey Brianna got
Hold
acknowledged.
on, I think I have.
oh my God,
1200.
Kelsey!
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Kelsey needs to have at least 1 million subs. Okay, like Kelsey is
Yeah.
pumping
The
up the
live-
content here.
The live where Pat was DMing her was so cute. It was like
She's getting the PR.
when you're with a friend and a cute
Finally,
boy, like the same energy.
Okay, I'm totally binging Kelsey's channel after
Yeah.
this
like,
live.
oh,
We've been saying for a while in our live chat like how Kelsey needs to get into that bad PR list.
I love these chats because I find so many new creators, especially smaller creators, because
Yes.
I'm not like super savvy with YouTube. I know how to use the search bar. And I'm not on it all the time, so like finding new creators, I'm constantly just getting the same like 12 big YouTubers.
And the recommended stuff.
If I see Kathleen Lights in my recommended one more time.
Somehow you always end up getting recommended Tati or I don't know.
Or somebody famous.
I blocked Jeffree Star's channel because it kept showing up.
I don't want to.
I had to click I'm not interested like 10 times for it to stop recommending me pastel skeletor videos. Like
I wound up like kind of blacklisting the channel because it gave me an option to block the channel from recommendations. I'm like, yeah.
This was a part of today's chat where I have following at least 8 or 10 Black creators, and all of my recommendations are Tom Scott. Just Tom Scott. He's the only other person I'm subscribed to, and he is all of my recommendations.
Yeah.
Some white guy with linguistics degree. And I mean, he's delightful. He's chaotic. But he's not the only person I'm subscribed to.
Yeah.
I never get a Black creator recommendation. Never.
No. The only one that I get is Jackie Ina, and I'm not even subbed to her. I'm subbed to like I think I'm subbed to 6 different ones that I don't ever get recommended.
The only Black creator I get.
To a lot of Black creators, but my recommended is all white, and I'm like, and also Black creators are people I have watched recently, and I watch more than one video at a time. I never watch just the content they posted.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I want to support these people. I want to give them.
It is always the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that
or
for real. Honestly, I
watch a video on a subject, and I get recommended people I don't follow on the same subject. And
but Emily's right. Kelsey does look absolutely stunning in this photo here.
Looking at her channel, she looks absolutely stunning.
Glowing.
She's fabulous.
Kelsey live, I was like, can I look that half decent, maybe?
Seriously.
I regret taking my makeup off because I was gonna redo it. I was like, I have eye primer on right now, and I'm just like, I'm too tired.
I was outside.
My plans for makeup were really different than what ended up happening. I wanted to do something more elaborate, but then I slept until like 2 p.m. and I need to have lunch.
Lipstick brings up a good point here. Does anyone else have this problem where on mobile it doesn't allow you to put not interested in this channel as one of the options?
Yeah, I have a problem on desktop.
I do that. I do that.
Okay, yeah, because there's sometimes like
on my phone
about 50% of the time it will let me like say I'm not interested in this channel. And mindy, I do not know how many odd times I get recommended Tati. I'm tired of getting recommended Tati. I do not want to watch Tati.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I personally was subscribed to her for a long time back in the day.
Yeah.
And then I am subscribed because I'm not here for people who compare racism to drama.
Yeah.
I'm not here for people. So I immediately am subscribed, but then years later I keep getting her recommended.
She's another one where I didn't realize like she was friends with Jeffree Star until she's like, I'm doing a Blue Blood review.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that was so cringy. So cringy.
And like
reviewing that blue palette when she never wears that. That is absolutely not her style.
Yeah. Well, and I also think that like
I am surprised at her. She was talking about his liquid lipsticks, and she was like, "Oh, the red is the best red I have ever tried." Blah 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 blah. And then she started talking about how, like, oh no, but I care about the makeup. I don't care about the drama. Blah 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 blah. And then I was like, no. I'm
Well, and then
Like-
she goes on and like hangs. Okay, also Tati, I stand by that Tati's low key homophobic.
Oh, definitely.
Like
Yeah,
More than
she's-
low key.
yeah.
She
I
reminds
always
me.
start off with low key to see who to read the room because there's some Tati stands out there that are just gonna like roast, and I'm like, look, is James Charles the best influencer? Definitely not.
No.
He is
No.
so problematic.
Hi,
But I am
Kelsey.
tired of white women getting upset when two men get together just to do something. Like, fuck out of our business.
And like with Tati, she reminds me of basically a lot of people I go to church with, where they're like, we love everyone, but we just don't want to see it.
And
And just
also,
keep it over
like,
there. And it's like
just
that's
where I can see you. You
Bye,
can
Tati.
be you can be you, but over
those
there where I can see.
well, and
Those
also,
people who are like, oh, we love you, but stop flaunting your lifestyle.
I know.
I don't even necessarily think it's like that. I think that like it's literally like when I like the fact. I also think that like just the cognitive dissonance that she has, where she decides to talk about hair vitamins in the same video as accusing someone of sexual assault.
oh
Like
definitely.
those two things do not belong together in the slightest.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fact that you mentioned her brand, it was like,
That was that. And let's not talk about how her brand is so weird. Like
It is so weird.
you are glam beauty
Also,
guru, whatever. And you're gonna come out
$60
with
for
like
pressed glitters.
what?
$60 palette. There is an entire row of pressed glitters. That's all I'm
Oh.
gonna say.
What, the Mulan palette? The
Like,
Mulan palette?
oh, everything.
No.
every
The
time
Tati
I think
texture
about
neutral.
that palette, I
That's
think
what I
about
mean. The Mulan
yeah, it was the
palette.
Mulan
Yeah.
palette.
That's what I
Oh,
mean.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the Mulan
Oh yeah. No. Okay, I get what you mean now. Yeah.
But like
Also, her fucking vitamins that she sent, the fucking email she sent out at the start of the pandemic, where she was just, "What the absolute fuckery was that?"
what did
I
they
I'm
don't
glad
know.
I
say?
didn't get that.
Like
She
some
sent
of the-
out yeah, that's true. So like you can't that's very true. Like the
And
press glitters. But no,
also-
so Tati sent out a blast email to everyone like, we were gonna create these back to school immune like boosting vitamins to help with everyone going back to school. And as we saw this coronavirus starting, we tried to expedite. Oh shit! Did I just get you demonetized, Emily? I'm so sorry. Oh shit!
we
just
talking about
the
racism
entire
earlier.
screen
We
just goes
probably
black.
demonetized.
But no, okay. As soon as
So
this
sorry, Emily.
Voldemort stuff started, right? She sent out this email that was just like, we were trying to expedite it, but we just couldn't get it in time. So here's a list on Amazon of all of these different brands, and they weren't affiliate links, thankfully, but they still were like, and here's the research that we had around them, and it's just like, look, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry,
Back on
Emily.
the,
Guys,
back on the
and-
thing
and-
with
And people in the chat are talking about how people spent the whole of 2019 and part of 2018 talking shit about ColourPop plus readers. Like, oh,
Yeah.
but we don't
Yeah.
want it. Oh, but
and
I
they're
like
made in
that.
the same
I like
factory.
that.
They
It's
are
the
made
same glitter.
I would have bought the honey pot,
Yeah,
but
and
it has
I
that
know.
crazy.
yeah, and
And all of a sudden, when Tati comes up with her palette,
Tati brand and ColourPop made by the same people.
Yes.
It's the
Right?
same supplier. It's
Kylie
literally the same
Cosmetics,
glitter.
ColourPop,
groundbreaking.
Very good.
Yeah,
and
I
Tati
think that
all share.
that's very true because like she's choosing to sell like that hits the like nail on the head when it comes to what I was talking about with the
Yeah.
vitamins things. It's
And
like,
the thing with vitamins is you have to keep coming back. If
Yeah.
you, like, want the
and
results.
also like you're never going to recommend a product that is better than the product that you're releasing, right? So like 10 months, like however many months down the line, she's gonna be like, look at our immunocompromising vitamins. If you liked any of the different vitamin supplements that we recommended. Well, look, it's all of the ones in one.
I don't know if it was Diana who said it in the chat one day or someone else, but
Chaotic
Tati
good. I
would be
appreciate
an
that. Irene.
MLM fan if she wasn't a YouTuber.
Ow, I could no. Oh, that's a
She would
little
be
bit rough. That I could see that
Wait,
though.
did she
I
say,
could.
I'm sorry, I could not hear that.
Just
Like,
by
Tati would be an MLM girl if she
Oh,
was a
definitely.
YouTuber.
She
I-
used to
Yeah.
watch
She basically
MLM
is
Live.
one.
She's selling unique.
just
Oh
No,
my
she's a Mary
God.
Kay girl through and through.
Yeah, she's American.
I no comment. No
She has
comment.
she
Okay.
has the
Driving that pink Cadillac on the street, trying to
Oh,
recruit
God.
people. Yeah.
Also, just like she's got no loyalty. Like you can't
No.
say that someone's like your son, like that you've
Yeah,
been
and then be
raised-
like, well,
and then be like,
and then be
hey,
like-
this bitch betrayed my vitamin brand, so I'm outing him as a sexual predator. Like, the fuck did that come from, bitch? What? Like, no.
There was
Also-
there was a meme about that situation.
Yeah.
That was
Guys,
like,
I
that-
from the James Charles thing, I got a little bit of homophobic vibes from
Oh,
her.
100%.
well,
Like,
back on that whole
She's literally
Back
trying to leverage the fact that he's gay
Yeah,
Yeah.
Frank.
make
gonna-
homophobes
yeah.
Yeah.
quiver in their boots.
Yeah.
Also,
And that-
like
and-
speaking of vitamins, just thank you for reminding me.
Oh, that's so true. No, she would be doTERRA. She
Halo,
would
Halo,
go-
Halo Beauty
Oh,
has
yeah.
total
She would be
MLM
doTERRA.
MLM
Um,
vibes.
Yeah.
I think like with Tati and everything, with the whole going after gay men, especially like with her. The thing with James Charles really rubbed me the wrong way, and I know we mentioned like the homophobia that we were really feeling in there, but she like reminds me of the type of person that justifies it to herself
Yeah.
because
She can't
like
live with what
he
she's done.
well, and he's
Yeah.
it wasn't a problem until he was being sexual around her, like
Yeah.
making sexual comments, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
isn't that's sexuality
Mom-
doesn't stop at just saying I
Yeah.
like X gender, like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I do want to
Mhm.
throw this out there. I am currently getting my master's in English with a focus
I
in,
think
in queer
Yeah.
theory, so like
Hell yeah.
not
That's
speaking
gonna
out
be
my
my
ass.
minor. Because I'm gonna get
I think,
I'm majoring in psychology and I'm a minor in queer
Rachel,
theory.
I don't know if you guys agree, but I think he was a little bit of a token for her.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Oh,
definitely.
mhm. Okay,
And when-
all the
when
white women
Alex
have a
he was
token
his
gay.
token.
got
I'm
replaced with
I'm
Joey
just
Clark.
saying it right now. Rich white women love to have a token gay,
Yes.
and
They
that's
treat
just that's
them
just
like
the
shit.
truth.
And they
It's just
have
the
to
truth.
fit. They
But to
have
be
to fit
fair-
the token idealism too.
Yeah, but to be fair, gay males do it to like fag hags as well. Like, oh shit, we're definitely getting demonetized. Okay, I'm sorry.
You know that ultra
Shit.
rich white town in Texas that I
We've been
mentioned in the
demonetized for
Discord.
hours.
Wait, Thorn. What were you saying?
You know
What'd
that
you say,
ultra
Thor?
rich white town I mentioned in the Discord.
Yeah.
I
The
need to
number
actually
of
use the Discord.
rich white ladies down there who have collected me as their token gay, just it's ridiculous. Like they grab onto my arm and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I
Yep.
barely know you, and you're
Oh,
like
fucking
holding me
Oh yep. Mm-hmm.
because they're like so excited to be in public being nice to a gay person, and that's what Tanti
Yeah.
reminds me of, is those very rich white ladies with the orange cars who grab me by the arm and call me darling because they want to look good.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold up.
Eat that shit pie.
Oh darling, won't you just accompany me down to the store real quick?
Come on,
We just need to go
darling.
down and get a little store thing real quick. Would you mind coming with me, Thorn? You can just come on right up here around my arm. Okay, I'm done now. I'm done doing my rich white southern
Wait,
voice.
is Audra live?
Oh my
Yeah,
god, wait,
Audra
what?
just went live.
Is Audra live? Wait, what? What is Audra live? Wow. Wait.
Yeah, I just got a notification.
Wait.
Let's inception
Wait,
this.
I'm so conflicted. I'm so conflicted. Wait, what do we do?
We watched the live on the live.
Yes. Okay, everyone, we're watching the live on the live.
Live reaction to the live.
Yes.
Library.
Yes, live reaction to the live. I agree with this. Okay.
Why didn't YouTube notify me?
Well, yeah.
I only
All
ever
right.
get the notification like 5 minutes after it starts, so.
Okay, I need to get another pair of headphones for this.
Maybe
Okay.
we should just
Yeah.
go to the live.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
We should just
Yeah.
go.
We should do
Should we
this
all
again though. Like if
Yeah.
Emily's down.
We
I will
should do
host this
this
on
again.
my channel. Like I
Take
don't give a
over
shit.
Emily's YouTube
Like,
channel.
I will host
Maybe
this
we-
on my channel so that
maybe
we're
we
not
do
like
that.
taking over Emily's channel.
Maybe we could have like a weekly thing. I don't know.
Yes. Also, next week, make sure to tune in for matching my boyfriend's perfect nude lipsticks to his nipples. It's going to happen. We're going to do it live. He's going to be sitting right here in this chair, and we're going to find his perfect nude by swatching lipsticks on his
I'm really
nipples.
glad. I'm really glad that you're going to do
I'm
it.
plugging
because
this right now. I will plug it in the
I was
Legata Gang
planning to
Discord.
do it myself, and no.
Yeah. I'm plugging in the Legata Game Discord. I will literally tie him to this chair. And yeah. Okay. Okay. Bye, everyone. Make sure to like the stream. Send love to
Remember
Emily.
to,
Thank you for letting us take over your channel. And go say hi to Audra. Yeah, let's go to Audra.
You want to share it?
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.